and welcome to the Healthy Returns podcast. I am your host, Sharon Polsky, and we have conversations about better health and better business and unlocking the potential of body composition scanning. And on today's episode, we are going to talk to Tony from The Bridges. The Bridges is a golf club located in the San Diego area of California. And we're going to have a conversation about how to increase your revenue opportunity within your gym setting of a country club or a golf club. And so I met Tony last year, and he was the one that really pioneered bringing an eVolt 360 into the Bridges. They had never had anything like that before, and he was able to grow his personal training revenue within 3 months of having it there. And so I really want to have a conversation with him about what process he used and how he went about doing that, so all of you can use his experiences and learn from them. So we are going to have a conversation about how to use a BIA scanner or an eVolt 360 in a country club setting to grow your personal training revenue. So I want to welcome Tony to the show, and we are going to talk about his role at the Bridges and his integration of his eVolt 360. So Tony, welcome to the show, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Sharon. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Tony Johnson. I'm the Director of Health and Fitness at the Bridges Club at Rancho Santa Fe. Prior to this role, I was an owner of 4 Anytime Fitness locations, which is where I came to know and use eVolt 360. My journey to this industry has been atypical for a fitness professional. I've actually spent a good chunk of my life as a morbidly obese person. I lost 145 pounds in 2010 and left my career as an academic professor of speech communication in 2016 to do fitness full time. I'm super passionate about using data-driven technologies to help people get from where they are to where they want to be in terms of their health and fitness. And I think eVolt is an exceptional tool to empower individuals with both product-oriented goals, but also to refine their processes to help them achieve the data-driven metrics that they want to achieve. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. If you have specific follow-ups, I'm happy to answer those. But we use our eVolt every single day, and we've seen tremendous value in the tool.
So prior to you going to the Bridges, they didn't have this type of technology. I know you guys had a massive remodel, and the club is absolutely beautiful. You guys did a tremendously good job on the remodel. So during your remodel, you brought in a lot of technology, and eVolt was one of those tools. Why did you specifically want an eVolt, since that wasn't something you guys had prior?
Good question. I think I had an intention of bringing in a number of different modalities that would allow coaches in the facility to coach our members to meaningful health outcomes using data. So we brought in a heart rate tracking device. We brought in the eVolt 360. We brought in a couple of other tools that will allow us to keep a close eye on metrics that allow our coaches to hold our members accountable. And part of the refresh and the remodel was to introduce new technologies that could help even members who are already fit get to the next level. And we chose eVolt because, in terms of a consumer scale, it's the most accurate, also the most comprehensive data that you can have in terms of not just making it about the number on the scale, but diversifying the client's understanding of success. Are they adding to their bone density? Are they dropping body fat and adding lean muscle tissue? Are they correcting side imbalances? So it kind of gives a holistic understanding that diversifies their understanding of success offers us the opportunity to hold our members accountable to the processes that allow them to be successful.
And you have a pretty broad demographic. I know I've visited a couple of times. So tell me a little bit about your demographic. And also, do they pay for their membership, or do they get their membership as part of the program, but you charge additional fees for supplements and for personal training and things like that?
Yeah, so the average age of our members is 60 and 7 months, though we have a very diverse membership. So especially in the last 4 years, we've dropped the average member age by 4.5 years because we're seeking to recruit young families that are between our ages to kind of fill out the membership. We're a 25-year-old club, so a lot of our initial members.
And you're mostly a golf club, correct?
We're a holistic country club. I think we're well known for our beautiful world-class golf course.
It's incredible.
One of the things that I, have aspired to bring to the club is an increased focus on non-golf programming. So that's programming for kids, that's programming for sports and fitness, tennis, pickleball. We're, talking about adding a padel court. So we're kind of diversifying the offer. We also have a world-class spa on site. So even though we're most known for the golf course, we're trying to really diversify the number of programs we have for people who are not just into golf.
And so do your families have to pay a membership fee, or is it included with their golf membership, or how does that membership piece work?
Yeah, so we have 5 different types of memberships for the country club, and all of the membership categories include access to our fitness facility and our group fitness classes. But any purchase of personal training, nutritional consultation, supplements or spa products is an additional cost on top of that membership fee.
So that's key to this conversation, right? So if every person that walked into your facility, you gave them an eVolt scan, it gives you an opportunity to then monetize the eVolt scan by selling them personal training, nutrition and supplementation, or supplement packages in addition to allowing them to use your facility.
Which is a primary reason we brought it in, even though the investment up front, is not insubstantial. We paid it off in less than a month, running one 6-week challenge. So yeah, we have utilized the free scan. Some clubs also charge for each scan, like a nominal fee, $25-$30. We just include it in the club's membership because it's their asset. But from that, we're able to have really intense and meaningful conversations about, okay, your visceral fat's at this level, it's at this distribution number, we need to get it to this number within a year. How important is that to you? And of course, when they have data in front of them that's illustrating the extent of the process that they need to undergo to feel better, to feel stronger, to have more endurance, to sleep better, to have better energy and emotional regulation, of course, they already have the means to, then they just have to create the time. And honestly, the data that we have from the eVolt is our most important tool to leverage in those conversations. As these people have worked their whole lives to be at a place of financial freedom. Why not enjoy that time with the most vitality possible? And I think that the data on the eVolt scan allows us to leverage those conversations, and the data on the revenue side has been astounding.
Can you share? I mean, I don't want to ask you anything that's proprietary, but can you share us some growth percentages since prior to you coming on board and since you integrated your eVolt into your program?
Yeah, I started in April of 2024. We bought the eVolt and integrated it into our Summer of Strength Challenge on June 1. Prior to my arrival, the club had averaged anywhere from 18 to 22,000 in monthly personal training sales, and we averaged somewhere between 40 and 50 on a poor month, and somewhere over 60 on a high achieving month since then. So we've at least doubled, and in some cases tripled our personal training revenue.
Which more than pays for your eVolt, really.
Yeah, I mean, we paid for that in month 1 on the Summer of Strength Challenge. And we did not used to have supplement sales, but since getting the eVolt and having the supplement recommendations, plus kind of coupling that in with challenges that we also run, we've seen pretty substantial growth. Not as substantial as the personal training, but somewhere between 2,500 and 7,500 monthly supplement sales. And there's still a
That's
lot.
actually really good because you didn't have a supplement program before. So that's astounding growth in a
We
very short
have a
amount of
lot of
time.
room to grow on that. That's one of my goals this year is to double that number. But we we believe in that ability because we have the tools to be able to justify that with the members.
And are you writing nutrition plans? Are you using the macros that are included on the eVolt scan and writing nutrition plans? Or are you teaching your members to take the macros that are on the eVolt scan and then plug and play inside of some kind of app? How do you handle that piece?
Good question. So I think it's different in specific cases, but in general practice, we're making the members aware of what macronutrients are, what the proper ratios and balances are based on the eVolt scan. And then the particular member may also seek nutritional consultation through the club, where we dive deeper into that using a number of different apps that hold them accountable, whether it be, MyFitnessPal or others.
And you charge an additional fee for that service?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now you're able to monetize this program not only on the personal training side, but also the supplement side and the nutrition consultation side, all three of which two are basically new, and then one you've tripled in size.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's amazing. And tell us a little bit about your challenge. How did you run that first challenge? You're unique because you had a lot of experience with an eVolt before you brought in your new eVolt. I think where a lot of our owners really struggle is, where do I start? Because it's so much. You've got challenges, you've got insights, you've got just how to use the machine itself. So how exactly did you run that first challenge, and what do you think is your secret sauce to those challenges? Because clearly they're working for you.
Yeah. So I kind of had the experience of using it for several years in a private for-profit setting, and I realized that the start and the rollout is probably the most important aspect of creating dynamic engagement with the technology. So you're right in the sense that we had just undergone a $600,000 refresh of our sports center, our fitness facility. And part of that was bringing in this new technology. So in advance of introducing this to the membership, I had planned what's called a grand reopening party, where we had members come, and you were there, and they come, interact with a number of different vendors, our new supplement line, our heart rate tracking technology, eVolt, and then they got free food and wine, and they could have an opportunity before they had wine to get their first scan done.
I still scanned them while they were literally drinking wine while I scanned them. And I just explained what effect that would have on the results, but I still let them scan.
And even if it was late in the evening, which is not best practice for the scan anyway, it's mostly for them to have an engagement with the technology and then realize, okay, we're going to kind of toss out the scan and you can come back in.
Yeah, but also really importantly in that environment is how low key a scan is. Like, people, you don't have to get undressed. All you got to do is take off your shoes and socks. And so I think it teaches people that are typically kind of nervous about technology that this is so simple. All you do is take your shoes and socks off. It's not like going and getting a DEXA scan or getting an MRI. It's really about like making it as simple as possible so people will do it on a regular basis.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it kind of demystifies the whole experience and makes it accessible, right? If you can do it in a room full of people with a glass of wine in your hand, with the asterisks of understanding that that's not probably best practice, you can do it, every other week or once a month to hold yourself accountable.
Agreed, 100%.
On the other end of that grand reopening event, so starting the Monday following, was a Summer of Strength program. And what we did is a 6-week challenge where members could purchase discounted training, nutrition, and meditation instruction all in one, and get a once every other week scan for 6 weeks. So they got a beginning scan, a mid challenge scan, and an end of challenge scan. And the member who added the most percentage of muscle proportionate to their starting muscle, the member that lost the greatest percentage of body fat proportionate to their starting body fat would all earn a prize. And so, we had 40 members, which we only have 400 members in our whole membership. So to have 10% of our membership participate in that was a huge success. And
Did you charge a fee to participate in the challenge?
We did. Yep,
Okay.
we did. So the members purchased at least twice weekly personal training, at least once weekly nutritional consultation and or meditation instruction. And they got it at a slightly discounted rate for being a challenge member. And over the course of the 6 weeks, there was great competitive banter. There was a lot of energy dedicated. We saw, nearly 30% increase in personal training in 1 week that sustained itself. And it actually continued to grow over the course of Q3 and Q4 of 2024. And to this day is still growing.
That's huge. I just so people hear that. It started as a challenge, but you didn't leave it as a challenge. You took the growth that you got from your challenge and then have exponentially grown it since. You haven't seen the backslide. And that's a testament to you and your coaches and trainers for following through with your clients. Because not every client had a great experience, I'm sure, because some of us don't have good experiences, but you were able to carry that through and use those teachable moments and grow the program, which is a huge testament to what you and your coaches do.
I appreciate that, but I also think it's a testament to the insights that members can get from the scan and the app. I always say the fortune is in the follow-up. It's holding members accountable and caring about their results as much as they do on their best day, if not more. And so making sure that if they miss their appointment for a follow-up scan, that you're getting them rescheduled within 48 hours. The data shows that people who use impedance scan are 75 to 90% more likely to achieve their health and fitness goals if they're scanning with some degree of frequency, right? That's once every other week or once a month.
Yep.
And so we live by that. We as part of our practice, when it comes to coaching individuals, we include at least once a month scan. For some clients who need that accountability, who need that consistent cadence of accountability, we'll do it as much as once a week. But I think that when you're following up, you're caring about their results, you're able to help them understand that progress isn't linear, right? That not every scan will show tremendous improvement, and you might actually feel like you're working really hard and actually see some data backslide a bit.
Yep.
But remembering how important it is, even in spite of those realities, to keep that consistent cadence of accountability. So I think it is a testament to our coaches. They're world-class, but it also is a testament to having the proper tools and consistent cadence of accountability to hold people to what they set out to achieve.
And do you ever hear from coaches or trainers, oh, I don't want to scan this person because I'm afraid I'm going to get a bad scan?
I don't think I've heard that explicitly, because our coaches are very well aware and seasoned professionals. But if I were to hear that, I would use that as a teaching opportunity, right? It's a perfect moment to work with a coach one-on-one and say, all right, so tell me more about that. What are your fears associated with kind of walking someone through a scan that has less than ideal outcomes?
Well, I'm afraid they're going to think that I'm a bad coach and I underserved them, and I'm afraid they're going to cancel coaching with me if they get a bad scan.
I totally understand that position, and it's a totally reasonable fear. Might you be able to use it as a talking point with the member or with the client to dive deeper into their habits, to dive deeper into how are they sleeping? What are they eating? How are they managing stress? How much water and electrolytes are they consuming? It's important to share responsibility with them. You're in an active partnership to help them achieve their fitness goals. But most of my experience shows me that if you use it as an opportunity to ask generative questions about their habits, they're more than willing to take responsibility for that as well. And don't get me wrong, you will have those times where, no, sir, I've been 100% disciplined. And even that is a teaching moment too, because you can say, listen, this journey isn't linear. Sometimes you'll have 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But the key to having a sustainable set of outcomes is that consistent effort and output. So
Tony, you're speaking my love language, because I talk about this all the time. I love getting a bad scan. If I only always get perfect scans with my clients, I've got no teachable moment with them. And so I love it when I have a client that is perfect every 30 days for the last 6 months. And all of a sudden we start seeing a scan that isn't making sense. And I get to have the conversation. You just said it right there, those 5 building blocks: hydration, exercise, stress management, sleep, and nutrition. And you start asking those questions when they get that funky scan, and they'll tell you right away, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about it, but I haven't slept in the last 3 weeks. I'm going through menopause. I feel there's something wrong with me. If you can help them solve those problems, you became an even more valuable resource because you got the kind of funky scan.
Yeah, and I think that what differentiates perhaps a new or less seasoned trainer or coach from somebody who um, is seasoned and experienced is the willingness and ability to engage the tough conversations and to ask questions with a sense of kindness and curiosity, and to not take things personally. And so those scans offer a unique opportunity to really bond with your client on a super deep level, right? To go deep on the habits that matter in terms of the foundations of health and wellness. And so, and just like any other relationship, right? It's not all going to be perfect. Like there's no such thing as a perfect human. So I think if you use the opportunity of some scans that are less than ideal results as a true opportunity to bond with your client over having deep emotional conversations, not only are you going to be more valuable, but that's what the data says produces a re-sign, not results, but relationship. So the data shows that a client is more likely to re-sign a training agreement if they have a deep relationship with their trainer or coach. Sure, results are important, but that's not the most important variable to
People
clients.
buy emotionally. We know this from all the sales training any of us have gone through. People buy emotionally. They don't buy logically. So even they buy a car, they buy emotionally. It made them feel good. It made them feel sexy. They bought that car. And so we buy emotionally as humans, and you have figured that out.
Yeah, I mean, and at some point you also develop really sincere relationships with these people, right? And I think that selling doesn't even become much of a variable. Like one of my favorite quotes is a quote by Dean Graziosi, who's the CEO of Salesforce, and it's like, if you truly believe in the product or service you're offering the marketplace, selling is an act of love. And so if you love your clients, I think the sales take care of themselves. And I think that one way you demonstrate love for your clients is holding them accountable, having a consistent cadence of accountability with regard to scans and analysis of results.
I totally agree with that. If you had any kind of advice for maybe another country club or a fitness trainer that is thinking about bringing on any kind of BIA technology, what would that advice be?
Have an understanding of how you're going to use it and have a plan in place for how you're going to produce an ROI. So as I stated, the most important aspect of making a sizable investment in a high quality BIA device is to know how you're going to get your money back and grow your services in a meaningful way. So for us, whether it be Anytime Fitness or the Bridges, we had a very clear plan for not only how we were going to use it in terms of initial price point or making it free as a way to leverage the conversations to generate revenue, but also bundling the scan with packages that would include fitness and nutrition consultation and coaching. And so I think just like anything else, a new technology will create interest, and it's up to you to have a plan in place that will turn that interest into a momentum of revenue. And so that would be the most important advice I would have, is have an important and clear plan in place for how you're going to use the technology to generate revenue.
That's amazing, Tony. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're super busy, but I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today and give other facilities some advice.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being on. And if you're interested in eVolt, please check it out. It's an exceptional piece of technology, and I think you'll get a lot out of it for your members.
Amazing, Tony. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you, Sharon.
Thanks. So that was Tony from the Bridges. And yes, he came from Anytime Fitness and he brought an eVault 360 to the Bridges and really taught their staff internally how to grow the business and grow personal training, supplement, and nutrition counseling revenue using that eVault 360. And so I'm really happy he was able to take the time to share his journey and experience with all of you. So thank you for tuning into the Healthy Returns podcast. I am Sharon Polsky, your host, and we hope that today's episode gave you some valuable insights and inspiration to drive success in health, wellness, and business. If you enjoyed today's discussion, please leave us a review and share the podcast with your friends and family. And if you are interested in BIA technology, especially an eVault 360, please visit our website at www.evault360.com. I'm Sharon Polsky. Thanks for listening. Ciao for now. The eVault podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. The content shared here represents the views and opinions of the host and guests and should not be considered medical, health, or professional advice. This podcast is not a substitute for individualized care from a qualified provider. Please consult with your provider before making decisions that may affect your health and wellness. Any statements about treatments, health protocols, or medications discussed are based on personal experience or professional expertise and may not be suitable for everyone. Always seek personalized advice from a licensed professional who understands your specific needs.